Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope everybody's doing well today. Got a lot of news to go through, lots and lots of news to go through. Want to thank Global News Wars for helping us put this together. We're going to wait for a few people to load in, and then we'll start with the news. Hello, John. Good morning or good evening. Sorry, not good morning. It's good evening. Hello, Ray. Hello, Pam. How is everybody today? Hello, Crystal. Wait for a few more people to join us. Got major breaking news you're all going to want to know about. Hello, Unveiled Believer. What was your handle name before? Hello, Harper. Good to see you. Enjoyed having you around for the prayer this morning. That was a lot of fun. All right. Well, we're going to just hop to the news here. I'm not paying attention to any of the comments here because I'm going to be focusing on the news. So, the U.S. is announcing mobilization of all forces in the Middle East. We knew this yesterday, but many are being told to expect blackouts because of like hackers and things like that. We're being expected to, they're telling us to expect blackouts. Give me a second here. In Oklahoma, in Elmwood, Oklahoma, there was a massive gas pipeline explosion. What's interesting is that on Hulu there's that movie called How to Blow Up a Pipeline. All right, and then you see all these and I mean the way I found out about it was I love to eat hot peppers, and I was watching that TV show Super Hots about hot peppers, and they kept showing this ad, how to blow up a pipeline, how to blow up a pipeline, and then all of a sudden a pipeline blows up, right? And then these chicken farms that are ablaze down in Texas. It's absolutely crazy, people. This is totally planned out. You know, I believe these are like Antifa sort of people infiltrating these areas and starting this stuff. Um, you can just go look at the map of all these food processing plants that have been destroyed or caught on fire this year, and it's astronomical the number, or between last year and this year, it's astronomical the number that we've had. China stocks sink to 5-year low as traders unwind rescue bets. Um, I mean, China's economy is not doing good right now. I believe it's all contrived, though. French tractors have approached the armored vehicles of the Gendarmerie on the A1 highway near Chenevres-les-Louvres. This new day will see a turning point in mobilization against the elite. So there's this upheaval in France. They're calling it a France revolution. They're saying that it's been blocked since yesterday in France, and the farmers have set fire to the highway. All right, I'll try to show you a video of that right here. They're literally burning stuff right on the highway in France. That's absolutely crazy, people. Give me a second here. The UK is sending its aircraft carrier, Her Majesty's ship Queen Elizabeth, or Her Majesty's ship Prince of Wales, to the Red Sea to replace the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, after its return to the U.S. Yemen responded. All American and British warships in the Red Sea and Arab seas that are participating in the aggression against our country are targets of our forces, the Yemeni Armed Forces spokesman said. It's just continuing to amplify, people. We're going to get into this more. There's a lot of stuff to go over right now. Haj Askar, the topmost military commander of the Iranian Guard militia in northeastern Syria, has escaped to Iran, anticipating possible U.S. airstrikes targeting Iranian-backed militia locations. Here's more about the Chinese economy. The Chinese investors are starting to buy gold as the property and stock markets fall in China. Yemen versus Israel, the U.S. and the U.K. Maritime shipping costs between Europe, the Mediterranean, and China have risen more than 400% since mid-November. The IMF is stating. It's just crazy. There's several chicken farms that have been set on fire in the past 24 hours across Texas. Uh, January 30th, huge flames and a giant plume of smoke at Feathercrest Chicken Farm, which is owned by MPS Egg Farms. Fox News is reporting. Fire engulfed a Texas chicken farm on Monday, 29th January. The blaze was contained to two buildings at the Bryan property, but was expected to burn for days, according to the local authorities. The Independent reported that. Um, Here's some World War III info pertaining to China versus Taiwan. The Pentagon is increasing the number of attack naval drones to counter China. It is reported that the U.S. Navy has already conducted an experiment in the Pacific Ocean as part of the Hellscape concept. It involves the use of unmanned strike systems and loitering munitions, so stuff that's just sitting out there. The purpose of the experiment is to disrupt a coordinated attack, sowing confusion and chaos in the Taiwan Strait. The United States plans to prevent China from carrying out any amphibious operations to land in Taiwan in order to gain time and bring in additional forces. The Americans are already working on creating maritime drones that can autonomously maneuver in Chinese territorial waters and reach speeds of at least 65 kilometers per hour to strike ships. Hello, Global News Wars. You're the only moderator I have, so if you could just keep an eye on the live chat for me, brother, I appreciate all the help. Please, Global News Wars, put up your TikTok for everybody to see, so that way people know where you're at and they can add you. Global News Wars has been awesome helping this ministry, and he loves the Lord, and he loves getting people information that they need to be able to be ready for what's ahead. Yemen's Houthi group said on Wednesday that it attacked a U.S. warship in the Red Sea with missiles in support of Palestinians in Gaza in response to the aggression, according to a statement from their group's military spokesman. On the home front here in America, Texas Guard flies "Come and Take It" flag amid dispute with the feds. The Texas Military Department posted a photo to its official X Twitter account Tuesday afternoon showing the Gonzales flag flying above its headquarters in Austin. Here's more. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Iran, and Egypt have officially joined Brics. This completely rules out that Brics is going to be the 10 kingdom government, okay? Or the 10 kingdoms that the Antichrist rises out of. I've always told you that the two legs of the statue that King Nebuchadnezzar saw in the book of Daniel, that one leg is NATO and the other leg is Brics, coming out into 5 kings each, all right, which represents the 10 toes. Here's another France update. Well, it says that in France, the Emmanuel Macron and his wife have left the country because of all the rioting and upheaval and revolution that is happening in France. I mean, these guys are cowards. They always take off. I mean, when things were possibly getting bad in Texas, Greg Abbott took off to India. All right. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Um, World War III breaking news. Senior U.S. official to NBC News said the Biden administration, along with White House defense officials, is preparing for a military campaign in the Middle East that could last for several weeks and include strikes on Iranian forces and Iranian-backed forces in Iraq and Syria. And this would fulfill stuff that we've been talking about that's in the book of Zephaniah in chapter 2 and Joel chapter 3. All right. And you can watch that video. We just put that video up not too long ago showing how these things are going to be taking place. And it's just proof that God is going to come get his people. And I'm going to add that in here. I know a lot of people watch this news who aren't Christian, but this channel supports Jesus Christ and supports his believers. And we believe that God is coming to get his people. And all these things are signs of that coming. And Zephaniah chapter 2 and Joel chapter 3 prove that the time of the Lord's coming is imminent to come get his bride off this planet. Saudi Arabia officially joined the Brics alliance. It was also the United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Iran, and Egypt. And all these countries are mentioned in Zephaniah and Joel chapter 3. Zephaniah chapter 2 and Joel chapter 3. All those countries, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia is even mentioned, Iran is mentioned, and Egypt is also mentioned. So I want to put that out there. Hold on one second. Reuters is reporting that Chinese hackers are targeting U.S. infrastructure, and that's not good. That's not good. Russia is strongly warning U.S. not to bring its nukes back to the U.K. At the same time, Russia is trying to bring in nukes to Cuba. All right, just not far off from the southern border of the United States. There are several countries with farmers that are protesting the New World Order agenda right now. There's France, Germany, Poland, the Netherlands, Scotland, Belgium, Lithuania, Italy, Greece, Romania. And I'll tell you right now, there is upheaval in Europe. All right. I mean, this is everywhere. This isn't just the Middle East. This is Europe. This is the United States. It's even in Canada. It's going on in Mexico. It's going on in Brazil, all over the world, between in China and Taiwan and all these different places. I mean, this is global war that's beginning to form. All right. The U.S. State Department is looking into recognizing a Palestinian state. All right. When that happens, America's done for. I'll tell you right now, because we know America's behind that 100%. I tell you, when they try to split Israel again and they try to give the Palestinian people a state in Israel, God's going to divide our land, and it'll probably be the start of the Civil War, in my opinion. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken reportedly asked the State Department to present policy options for the recognition of a Palestinian state after the war in Gaza. The FBI director says that Chinese hackers have outnumbered FBI cyber personnel by at least 50-1. All right, 50-1, and I told you just a moment ago that there is a report that as America is amping up their forces in the Middle East, that they are expecting power outages, utility outages, all these different things. All right, um, give me a second here. They're starting to say that the petrodollar is absolutely history, that Brics, Russia settles 85% trade in local currency and sidelines the US dollar. So the petrodollar is history. The FBI says it has taken down a large botnet of malware installed by Chinese hackers on hundreds of routers inside the US in an effort to get access to infrastructure. The FBI says it used search and seizure warrants to remotely delete the malware without notifying device owners. So this is everywhere. They're getting into everybody's stuff. I mean, this is serious, people. Absolutely serious. This is nothing to take lightly. The Yemeni defense minister says we are bringing a painful end to American hegemony. Um, since days, the United States Air Force increased the deployment of long range bombers via the U.S. to the U.K. and then to the Arabian Peninsula to carry out various airstrikes against Iran affiliated locations in Syria and Iraq. And both those places are mentioned in those scriptures I talked about earlier today, for those of you who went and saw that video. What currently is known is that the B-1B stealth bombers from the Dias Air Force Base will take part in the retaliation strikes. Also, they're saying diesel prices are on the rise in Europe due to shipping chaos in the Red Sea. I told you, when they start messing with the oil and things like that, war is going to start. And they've been hitting those ships that have the oil. And I'll tell you, here we go, war is starting. So Yemeni armed forces, an American commercial ship called the Cole, which was heading to the ports of Israel, was targeted by naval missiles, which directly hit it. So there has been another American commercial ship called the Cole that has been hit by the Yemeni Houthis. The destroyer USS Gravely of the U.S. Army had to use the Phalanx CIWS defense system to repel cruise missiles fired by Yemen's Houthis on Wednesday, and that was today. The system is basically the last defense layer of military ships against any attack. So, I mean, they're getting better and better at trying to hit our naval ships, people. Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit Turkey on February 12th, Reuters reported, citing a Turkish official. So they're getting, that whole Gog and Magog thing is starting to brew. It's not even there yet, but the coalition is forming for that war of Gog and Magog. I'll tell you, we're getting real close to the end times, people. We've never been so close to the end times. The United States Air Force and Royal Air Force target Sada in Yemen. It says the U.S. is considering recognition. This is a side note. U.S. is considering recognition of a Palestinian state as a first step. Some inside the Biden administration are now thinking recognition of a Palestinian state should possibly be the first step in negotiations to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, instead of the last, a senior U.S. official said. There are several options for U.S. action on this, including bilaterally recognizing the state of Palestine, not using its veto to block the UN Security Council from admitting Palestine state, encouraging other countries to recognize Palestine. Also, here's some more breaking news. The United States is considering the official recognition of Palestine as a sovereign state after. Okay, we already reported that. Sorry. The U.S. military action against Iran could come in the form of a campaign, all right, that could last weeks, which would see the targeting of Iran-backed militias and airstrikes across Syria and Iraq, as well as strikes on Iranian assets outside of Iran. Hold on, we're going to have more news for you. Let me get to it here. Give me a second. It's going to take me a second to get through all this. Hold on. So think tanks outside of the United States say civil war is inevitable. Alexander Dugin is a renowned thinker in Russia. He has made remarks about the ongoing events between Texas and the Biden regime, and he thinks civil war in the USA is now inevitable. Here's his thoughts. Alexander Dugin says, in America, the birthplace of pragmatism has vanished. The globalists, especially under the Biden regime, represent an extreme form of a globalist dictatorship, severing ties with the typical American tradition established by Charles Pierce and William James. The tradition, pragmatism, was based on a complete indifference to the prescription of normative content for both the subject and object. For a true, hold on one second. Give me a second here. For a true pragmatism, the perception of the subject about itself, the object or another subject are irrelevant. What matters is that everything functions effectively upon interaction. However, globalists differ significantly aligning more closely with British positivists and French fervent materialists. They persist with totalitarian brutality, dictating who and what should conform to their prescriptions. To pragmaticists, it is inconsequential whether one changes their gender or remains the same as long as it works for them. In contrast, globalists mandate gender changes, enforcing this through law and promoting it as a universal progressive value. I mean, going on and on. This guy's, talking about, the differences that are happening in the United States between the two sides, between the globalists and the people who are actually patriots who care about this country. All right. Give me a second here. Yeah, it seems to me that's about all the news I have for right now. So went through it pretty quick there, but it's still a lot of news. Unfortunately, we're entering into a time that isn't going away. That isn't going away. And I also want to let everybody know that that there's a video that I made that is in the video section on my YouTube channel. That's very encouraging for those of you who believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. It goes along with what we're seeing right now, and has actual biblical evidence and biblical scriptural proof for a pre-tribulation rapture right in these scriptures. And you got to go see the video for yourself. It's only an 18-minute video, which is about what this one is going to be. Does anybody have anything that they want to add that they're seeing in the news? I try to give everybody a chance to talk about what they're seeing, if there's any news that they're seeing, anything like that. So I don't want to just shut people off. I want to give people a chance to chat. You don't have to be sorry, Guy Viola. You don't have to be sorry at all. Anybody have anything to add to the situation? Hold on. Let's see if any new news came in. Give me a second here. Hold on. Give me a second here. Multiple reports: U.S. merchant ship hit by anti-ship missiles in the Gulf of Aden. Houthis in Yemen have announced that they fired multiple anti-ship missiles at a U.S. merchant vessel allegedly named Koi. So this is another ship, and the ship was hit. This took place about 4:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time today. So just literally like an hour ago, another ship was hit in the Red Sea. And I mean that this is going to generate food shortages. That's going to generate price hikes in gas and oil and all sorts of stuff. I mean, the supply chain is going to be impacted by all of this stuff. You know, um, more and more of these things are continuing to unfold in America and elsewhere and abroad, in Israel and China and the Ukraine. All these different things are happening all at once, and it's no coincidence that this is all happening at once. They're getting ready to establish a 10 kingdom order, and I do want to kind of explain that the way I kind of view this thing. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had a dream that God had given him of a statue with a head of gold, arms and chest of silver, a midsection of bronze, two legs of iron that come down to 2 feet with it that are iron mixed with miry clay. Now, I'm going to explain this to you here. The head of gold was Babylon. The Medes and the Persians were the arms and chest of silver, because you have two arms, okay? The midsection of brass was Greece, okay? And then you have two legs of iron, which represented Rome, east and west. And Rome kind of continued for a while, even through the government that we have now. It's a very Roman government, whether you want to believe that or not. You look at all the symbolism in Washington, D.C. and whatnot, and I'm talking about America here, is very Roman, okay? And you still have that east and west, because of Europe. We come from Europe, and they very much so have their hands in all of this as well. But you have two sides here, okay, and I believe it's going to be Brics and NATO. I believe that kind of 2 feet coming into iron mixed with miry clay, where you come into the ankles and the feet is Brics and NATO, okay, and clay is representative of democracy, and iron is representative of communism, okay, but it also represents transhumanism because clay can represent flesh and iron can represent technology. Okay, and we know that they want to put microchips on us. They want to get into our brains. Everybody knows about this Elon Musk Neuralink patient that has just been Neuralink. It's happening. They're already putting these tracking devices under the fat tissue of the right hand, right here, and so. We're definitely in a situation where things are starting to begin to happen, and these are just volunteers. These people are just volunteers. The mark of the beast is not here yet. There's no antichrist. There's no 10 kingdom order yet. There's no false prophet. There's no third temple. There's no two witnesses. Any of this stuff, all these things have to be in place in order for the false prophet to force the world to believe and worship the Antichrist and take a mark in their right hand or their forehead. We have to know the name of the Antichrist if it's going to be associated with his name, okay? And so, anyways, getting back into it, this iron mixed with these feet of iron mixed with miry clay come out into 10 toes, okay? And so I believe that is going to be a battle between Brics and NATO, all right? And each kind of side is going to produce, and remember, East and West, okay, is going to produce 5 kings each. You're noticing a lot of kings being crowned, okay? A lot of people believe that, Prince Charles is the Antichrist, or Emmanuel Macron is the Antichrist, or all these different things. But I believe these guys are actually part of the 10 kingdom kings that are going to be put into position relatively quickly once World War III happens, and then that will produce Antichrist. The book of Daniel says there will be 10 horns, and that out of the midst of those 10 horns comes up an 11th horn, speaking great and blasphemous things, and that represents that Antichrist. And I do know that Share International, the people that are overseeing and protecting the Antichrist and keeping him, and the Illuminati's training him, Share International is involved with that, and they all talk about the day of declaration, and that's the emergence of the Antichrist, okay? And they believe the day of declaration can't happen until justice happens for the Palestinian people. All right, so I do believe that there's going to be a two-state solution that will come. All right. Anybody who's involved in that is going to be, their country is going to be devastated because God is sick and tired of people standing against him. All right. And because of that, they're going to have to leave out the outer court of the temple. All right. And they're going to have the holy, the inner court, and then they're going to have the Holy of Holies. All right. And so, Israel already has plans to build this. The temple is already being prefabricated, getting ready to be put into position really quickly. We've talked about how Hamas has even said that the October 7th attack happened because they wanted to find those red heifers and destroy them. So that way there was no way for the temple to be cleansed. So that way sacrifices could start. All right. And so this is all coming into play here. And if anybody is interested in understanding how close we are to the pre-tribulation rapture, I've developed a video that was it's about 18 minutes long. It's in my video section on my YouTube channel, and I suggest going and watching that because I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind how close we are to the pre-tribulation rapture and how the Bible outlines it, and it's plain as day. Actually, I've read these scriptures a million times, and I've never seen this. It's almost like God just showed it to me this morning when I was spending time with him. And I'll tell you, the time is so short right now. And once you see that video, you're going to be blown away. And Harper Ann saw this video and said that the video was excellent. Vivian said that the video was excellent. I'll tell you the name of the video. I'll actually put the link in the chat here. You're going to have to give me a second. Moderators, please pay attention to the people who are in the chat, and just keep an eye on things if you would, please. Hold on a second. I'm going to pull it up here. Give me a second. All right, coming back with the link here and putting it in the chat. All right, the link is in the chat right now. If you click on that link that I just put in the chat under the yellow box End Times Talk, you can go watch that video. I promise you it's going to be amazing. It's all going to start to fit into place. All this upheaval in the Middle East, even all the way down to Syria and Iraq, and how America's about to get involved in that stuff again. Israel's getting involved with Lebanon and Gaza. All these things are predicted in Zephaniah chapter 2 and Joel chapter 3, and they literally go hand in hand. All right. And it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. I promise. It's a really good video. It turned out really well. And so anyways, going back to the whole Brics thing, they're saying that Brics was this 10 kingdom order, and it's not. It's going to be two sides, east and west. You have this Brics forming, and you have NATO, where even like Sweden had just joined NATO. You have other countries that are trying to sign up and join NATO. You have countries that are jumping over to Brics. And so you're having two sides form, and it's going to be this global clash. All right, that's what's going to happen, people. And out of this, it will produce 10 kings and 10 kingdoms. That's what all these wars are about, is rewriting borders, okay, to make the 10 kingdom order. And so we know that from the map that the Illuminati has put out, where they've shown their plan for a 10 kingdom order, we know that the Russia will win the war with Ukraine. All right, and that eventually Poland will be taken by Russia as well. We know that China, as she sits, she doesn't even need Taiwan. All right, but if Taiwan is absorbed, it's really not that big of a deal. All right, but China, as she sits, is one of the 10 kingdoms. Japan, as she sits, is one of the 10 kingdoms. I know that Australia is starting to begin to merge with South Africa. That's another one of the 10 kingdoms. You're seeing Brazil and Venezuela start to talk again. All right, Venezuela is absorbing some of Ghana. All right, they're rewriting borders and they're crowning kings, people. I'm telling you, that's what's going on. That's how close we are to this thing. All right, we're seeing the formation of this 10 kingdom order. But I'm telling you, before the Antichrist shows his charismatic, ugly face, all right, I'm telling you, Jesus is coming to get his people. And the proof is in the pudding in Zephaniah chapter 2 and Joel chapter 3. All right. And there's a lot of people who are worn out, who are stressed out, who are feeling broken lately because of all these things coming upon the earth. These things have to happen. Jesus said that they would happen, but it doesn't mean that the pre tribulation rapture isn't coming. It just means that it's coming even sooner. So I'm going to end the end stream, or I'm going to end the live stream right now. I hope and pray that everybody that knows about the video, I'm going to put the link in there in the comment section one more time. And I hope that people will go over and watch this video, because it truly will encourage you and edify you. And so you will absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're really in the time that Jesus said he was about to come get us. It says in the Bible that you can discern the skies when a storm is coming, but can you discern the times? May God bless you all. May God keep you. And please don't forget to go out and change the world in which you live.